And typically, we're aware that it's hard to stop voices anyway. It's more, we more negotiate with them and create truces, alliances, coalitions. It turns out that to make a voice disappear is not an easy thing, even with pills. And the amount of medication that you have to give someone to do that typically makes the rest of their mind disappear quickly too. So, so we do a lot of work. We take the indigenous perspective that I learned from elders, and we let every voice have full ontological significance. So every voice is a fully independent being, and therefore I don't have to worry about whether it's real or not. If I just assume that they're all real and they're all independent and they're all chattering at me, well, it's all good. I can then choose which ones to listen to, and give them names and attributes, and I can say, oh yeah, well that's Charlie. He's grumpy. He always says what a jerk I am. I don't have to listen to Charlie today. Some other day, Charlie. Go back to sleep. So we, of course, this isn't our original idea. I mean, this is happening all over the world. This is the Hearing Voices networks of just about every country are promoting these ideas. Now more than ever, I think. But it was similar to what Lang and Burke and Perry were doing in the 60s and 70s. And it's also a different idea. It's a more of a pluralistic idea of the mind. It's an idea of the mind that says, yeah, the mind is full of all kinds of conflicting voices who don't agree with each other, and some of them don't even like each other. And yeah, well, we just have to make do and muddle through and make peace with the parts of our mind that we don't like, and let them get along with the parts of the mind that they don't like, and we'll all work it out. And that's a really different view than the sort of normal abnormal mindset. Bakhtin called it a polyphonous, cacophonous view of mind, which I thought was pretty funny. It probably sounds better in Russian. If you have this idea of mind, then it's open for lots of stories, because you can create a story about every voice. You can create multiple stories from every voice and about every voice, and you can have a really good, entertaining time with your mind and with the voices in your mind, figuring out what their apartment looks like and what their theme song looks like, and what card game they would play if they had to play cards, and what their pet would be, and it starts to get playful, whimsical, and the terror begins to diminish. The most frightening thing is to have a disembodied voice that is shouting at you from who knows where to do something terrible. And Harry Potter knew that. In one of the movies, the author had them doing spells to turn their worst fear into ridiculous-looking beings, so that it couldn't frighten them. And we do that with voices. We take the mean, scary, disembodied voice and give it a funny-looking body, and then it's not so scary anymore. It's just a grumpy old troll, well, we all have grumpy old trolls in our mind, and deal with it. You could say that that's a more storied approach to the mind. That the mind is full of characters telling multiple stories, which is the Lakota view of the mind. They call it the Nagi. Nagi refers to the swarm of all the stories that surround your physical body and make you in totality what you are. And each story that's swarming around you contains a tiny bit of the being who told that story, so that you're surrounded by small bits of other people's beings and other beings' and they're all shaping you as you go. So so the swarm to me is a marvelous metaphor for these things that make us who we are. that we have to work with, because some people, you know, have grown up in terrible stories that hurt them. So we want to transform those stories into comforting stories that will nurture them so that they can suffer less.